What's good, y'all? See if I can get some people to hop on. What's up? What's up? What's up? See if people see if I can get anybody to hop on right quick. Good evening, you guys. Welcome to Craving Cowboys content. Who's ready for the season, y'all? What's going on, Davidson? How you doing, hon? Thanks for stopping by. You doing okay this evening? $14-3. Well, it sounds like they winning for sure, huh? That's good. That's good. Congrats. Congrats. See if we can get some more people to come on in here. In the meantime, you guys sit back. It's Friday. And if you got a drink, go ahead and sip. Talk a little Cowboys tonight. Give you guys a little background. My name is Mickey. It's gonna be my first live I'm doing tonight. Really, it's really more so for me to, kind of get ready for get used to the camera a little bit. Thanks for you guys' time tonight. All right, y'all. So it's been about going on about 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and get to the stream. Once again, welcome you guys. It's gonna be my first live going on. Just kind of getting used to the camera a little bit. Just kind of want to give you guys a little background on myself. My name is Mickey. As you can see, my favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys. I just kind of decided just wanted to kind of get into the content creator background, kind of. All right, well, you have a good night, Jameson. Thanks for tapping in for me. Appreciate you, fam. See you later on. Hey, as always, I always got to rep them Cowboys, Jameson. Have a good night, fam. Coles Cowboys, what's going on? Hey, appreciate you for checking in, man. Thanks for your time. Yeah, I just want to give a little background with you guys. I'm a second generation Cowboys fan. My dad's a Cowboys fan, and I just kind of got into football. Amen. Appreciate it again. Thanks, Cole. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Cole. Yeah. So I don't have really a lifetime knowledge of football, and I will admit that. But I kind of got into the game around say 2009, 2010. I was in college. I kind of wanted to be a sportscaster, and because I was in marching band in high school. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of when I kind of started into the game. Of course, being in the stands watching the game. What else you gonna do? You feel me? So yeah, so I just kind of started getting to the game, and like as I mentioned, my dad's a Cowboys fan, so just kind of started paying more attention. And my brother played football for a little bit, so it was just exciting for me. I just kind of got into the, kind of into the, as everyone kind of calls it. I never really considered a chess match. I would just kind of looked at it as a, just a mind game. How can one side beat the other. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just kind of got more interested, and you know, I never really got to I finished out. I ended up getting my associate's degree, and I kind of just kind of like a 180 for me. Kind of circle back around. I'm seeing some creators, and they kind of inspired me. Just kind of start my own channel and see if I can kind of give my insight and how I see my Cowboys, and what we're going to do this year. Again, thank you for you guys' time. See if I get some more people to tap in, and you know, talk a little about training camp coming up this year for the 2023 season. Let me know how you guys doing tonight. How you guys doing this Friday night? You guys ready for the weekend? Got a long weekend coming up. Let me know if you guys doing anything. Doughmeister was good. Bro was good. Thanks for checking in, man. Appreciate you, man. Hey, you a real one, man. Let's see. Thanks for stopping by, man. I see you, fam. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well, man. Just want to talk a little Cowboy. Just hopped off JC's Sports Lounge tonight. Just hopped off his joint, so I just said, you know what? Let me go ahead and go live right quick. See if I can get somebody to tap in. Talk a little. Just talk a little Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? It's on the late night, so well, not that late. It's only 9:30. I hope it ain't that late for y'all. See if I get somebody to stop by and just talk a little Cowboys right quick. See how y'all feeling. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you. You ready for this upcoming season? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? You ready for them Cowboys? All right, y'all. So it's been about 10 minutes. Start getting into a little bit of content a little bit. Just some of the things I'm looking forward to in this season coming up. I think I'm just going to start with about three things I'm looking forward to this season. Because this season I actually have the means, and I just want to kind of see if I can. I want to check out training camp this year. So I'm really excited about that, and we're gonna head out there to Oxnard. The end of July, going into August. I'm only gonna be out there for a few days, for about a week or so. Gonna be able to catch a few practices, and hopefully be able to see how our boys is doing. Hey, Miss Lockhart. Hey, Miss Etta, how you doing? How you doing tonight? Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you. Hey, Dope Meister, I 100% agree. Like, I think just talking about them, like, it's hard not to get excited. You feel me? Like, how can you not be excited about this season? Even the haters, like, how can you, go ahead and hate, but also, like, how can you hate? Like, you, in my opinion, it's hard to hate on this team right now, honestly. But yeah, tonight I just want to look at a few things. Just want to because it's just I feel like there's just so much that you can look at, so many aspects that you can look at this team. Like it's just that's really why I just want to connect with you guys. Just in general, just kind of get all this stuff off my chest because I love to talk about my boys so much. And just they have so much potential this year. I just want someone to connect with, and who better than my family? You feel me? All right, you guys. So, kind of the first thing I want to talk about is kind of the one of the obvious holes we have on this team is the offensive line. And obviously we have that injury to Steele. You know what I'm saying? And forgive me if I'm looking to the left a little bit. I have my notes here, my phone to kind of help me out a little bit. I'm better with notes. I kind of want to, better flow to the stream. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm kind of go off some notes a little bit. That's cool with y'all. But yeah, I kind of mentioned, I think it was last week on JC's show. Shout out to JC again for having me on. And JC and Jazz, y'all just, I'm starting to call y'all a dynamic duo. Shout out to y'all. Y'all just show so much love and so much support, and y'all just, helping me boost up my confidence and just helping me able to kind of get out there and just kind of hop on here and, kind of talk about our boys right quick. And so yeah, thank you guys for having me on. So yeah, I kind of mentioned that. Well, let's go. I thought that well, let's go had a few snaps last year, but actually after doing my research, I kind of found out that let's go actually only had one offensive snap last year, and I was kind of surprised. I kind of thought he was active in 3 games last year, but I kind of thought he had a little bit more experience on the field. So he's kind of been added to my kind of wait and see list a little bit because, but I am happy that he did end up getting that shoulder surgery last year because, I kind of wanted him to kind of get it a little bit earlier just so that he could, of course, kind of heal up during that time because, of course, he was a rookie last year, you know what I'm saying? And not saying that he should have expected to have playing time, but just having an injury so early in the season, especially during preseason, I kind of thought, in my opinion only, that I kind of thought it was a little bit of a no-brainer just to kind of have, go ahead and go through the surgery. We were kind of having, problems on the O line back then too, which kind of seems like a recurring theme. But, you know, we shouldn't expect a rookie to kind of step up and put that on his shoulders, no pun intended, but to kind of take that one, kind of take that on his shoulders and kind of, of course, we don't expect them to carry a team. What I'm saying? So why not go ahead and get the shoulder surgery, get it out the way. But he ended up getting eventually, and that kind of, he still ended up coming back last season, which was great. He was still, able to get active in some games, and it will just, I guess, kind of get the feel of the game. I mean, that's all you can do. What I'm saying, being a rookie and everything. So he was able to get a snap in. That's something, nothing bad. What I'm saying. So, credit to him. What I'm saying. So, um, Yeah, so I'm really excited. Definitely looking forward to see what they're going to do with that right tackle position because, as we know, Steele's going to be out, and they said that they don't expect them to be ready for training camp. So, not saying obviously, but I don't think he's going to be ready. Week one. Of course, a lot of people say that he's not going to be ready week one. So, you want to see what Velasco does. Of course, we know that Tyron Smith is ready to step up to take up that position as well. But I want to see kind of how he does in preseason now that he's kind of healed up, and they're saying that he's having a really good decent preseason. Mind you, it was OTAs. We haven't seen pads yet. Just yet. So we're gonna see how he does, and see how he's able to step up to take up that position. And now that we're kind of talking about that right tackle position, I kind of want to touch on Steele just a little bit. Um, Last season he had about 800 snaps. Hey, I agree with you, Cole's Cowboy. Mentioned in the running back room, I'm going to be honest with you, and that's honestly another one of my topics tonight. Because of course we all know that they kind of connect with each other. The O line and the running backs. You know what I'm saying? Because they definitely depend heavily on that O line and just how stable it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a good point. I think worried. I don't know if worried is. Of course, that's another kind of wait and see type thing I'm on, and I'll talk about it a little bit coming up here. And I just think that if they address it properly, I think that they could of course you know solidify the position, but they have to address it. That's always the first step. They have to recognize that, hey, we might not have the personnel. You know what I'm saying, to I mean, let's be honest. Might not have the personnel to replace what we had in Zeke, but we have to see what these guys offer. And I kind of mentioned it. But we'll get to that. Once I finish the online topic. We'll definitely talk about these running backs we have. And I want to see the same thing, Coles. I'm really interested to see how Malik Davis steps up. Of course, we heard of course, how last year, you kind of talked about, they kind of talked about, Brian Broughton. Shout out to the Final Word panel for having them on, and of course, all the amazing interviews they've had these past few weeks. Just what's the off season? You feel me, for the Cowboys? With the content creators we have. Just kind of a side note, a little bit. Shout out to J Tuck, Boss Cowboy. One of them. I'm just gonna put it out there. One of my favorite content creators who just break down anything. Like, he's just smart. He's just, not afraid to step out there, put his opinion out there. And I just, just this whole presentation of things, just, he's definitely been one of my inspirations to want to start a channel because he's just so real with it. And, you start to realize just how many people actually respect that. You know what I'm saying? And so shout out to him. And like I said, shout out to the whole panel, Boss Cowboy, J Tuck, Law Nation, OC, just Big Game James. Just shout out to everyone who's just been an inspiration to our whole community, just honestly, what I'm saying? So, just that, and like I said, just there's amazing interviews they've had those past couple of weeks, bringing us just nuggets of information that we've been able to just kind of feed off of. Like I said, what's the off season? You feel me? So we've just been able to they've been able to keep the news coming, just keeping us informed about our boys. Miss Etta, 100%. I wish they would just go ahead. Honestly, I wish they would just address it in the beginning of the season. Just gotten it over with about getting a kicker. That's a great point. But we're gonna see. Like I said, they need a roster of 90 before they enter training camp. So we'll see if they address that before going in, or if they're gonna actually have actual competition. Coles, if they re-sign Maher, bruh, like that's like when you procrastinating and you just putting together your final project with little things you found, copy and pasting. to me, in that opinion, that would be re-signing Maher, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, because it's like kind of like you don't want to do the work to actually have a competition with, bring in fresh new legs and see if they can actually offer up an opportunity for, for a better kicking game. But instead, going back off Maher, who, yes, he was definitely clutch during the year, but as a lot of fans are saying, to them, what matters to them is in the playoffs. And everyone saw how Maher missed in the Tampa Bay game, which was a great win, but how can you not remember the 5 kicks that he missed? You know what I'm saying? So it's all about what you do in the postseason, like they always say, you know what I'm saying? So, well, see how they handle that. If you guys don't mind hitting that like button for me, letting people know I'm live, I'm just kind of start my channel up and see if I can get some more people to tap in. And I appreciate y'all time right now. Thank you so much. Also, just kind of expanding on Steel a little bit. Last year he had just a little bit of over 800 snaps, 818 snaps. Only allowed one snap. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Only allowed one sack and had 6 penalties, an overall grade of 73.9. Now we all know that Steel is just a run game monster. You feel what I'm saying? So he's definitely an essential part to our O line. You know what I'm saying? But as we know, he may not be available for the first few games, and that's kind of another point I made on JC's show that hey, if we have such an early bye week, you know what I'm saying? What are we going to do about Steele? Are we going to bring him back just to be off, or just how are we going to handle that? Are we going to, if someone is able to step up, are we going to insert Walesko in that line? For the first 7 weeks, just go ahead and have Steele take off that time and come back after the bye week. These are some of the questions. Some of the questions that I have. Yeah, Maher definitely has the itch. We're definitely a witness to that. Actually, right now, Coles, I'm not on Twitter right now, but I definitely am about to get one. Cause I see that's definitely I did have one before when it was years ago, so I'm definitely thinking about just kind of getting another one to the brand fresh new one. Go get a soccer player. Though Meister, hey, that might be something, you know what I'm saying? Hey, they kind of train in a similar way, so hey, any kind of leg up we could get, you know what I'm saying, to kind of, give us an edge or something like that. I just want us to have a competition, just to be honest, just to have an active, open competition, just to actively show that we're actually, trying out different legs instead of, I just kind of, in my opinion, just what I've seen up in history, just Cowboys have just always seemed to kind of be lazy at just they either sign old players or they kind of go with, kind of go with what they know, which is cool. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and when it kind of turns around to bite you in the butt, what do you say then? What I'm saying? Did you actually actively do the work to, compare legs if you bring a competition? What I'm saying? Then, you never know what you can find if you actually, go out there and look. Hey, Coles, I would love that, man. Yeah, we should definitely link up. Hey, you got IG. Let me know if you're on IG. And just one more point I want to make on Steele. Like, I've watched a little bit of his film. Shout out to Boss Cowboy once again. I did see a little bit of just some of his highlights from the Chargers game last season. I believe it was preseason, and just the way Steele kind of approaches the line. To me, he just has so much power in his hands. The way he just kind of lines up, and in my opinion, what he does, he just kind of takes his hands and kind of just goes under his opponent's arm, so he just automatically takes control. You know what I'm saying? Just from right off the line. You know what I'm saying? So when you, in my opinion, when you kind of assert that power, you see in many in many drives where he just kind of knocks his opponents off their heels. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes maybe that power surprises them, or maybe because he was kind of undrafted, or like I said, he just kind of takes that control off the line. Kind of throws them off their balance. He just able to me, just like I said, it kind of reminds me of a wrestler. You know what I mean? Just how he has that power, just kind of throw them off their balance and knock them on their heels a little bit. So we're definitely gonna miss that, the first couple of weeks, but it'll be great to see him back when he does eventually return. All right, Coles, I'm gonna hit you up. Miss Etta, yes, that is so true. Choctaw made a hell of a point. He's always speaking about bringing Zeke back. And before, I'm not gonna lie, before in them chat rooms, I was kind of getting on them like, hey, we need to move on. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and hop on that running back topic right quick, because that's definitely no one wants to admit it. I don't know if y'all hear my dogs going off. Sorry, y'all. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's definitely a big question mark we have coming up into the season, in almost most people opinions. You know what I'm saying? Like, do we have anybody? Let's just be real. Do we have anybody in that room that can cover what Zeke Elliott was? Not even just last year, just these past few years. Like you said, we have Rojo, Rico Dowdle, Pollard, of course, who is going to be RB1, Vaughn, who we just drafted, and of course Malik Davis. Now, of course, what we learned through the Clarence Hill interview is that they may even have plans for Hunter coming in. But I've been kind of just looking at doing my own research here and there, that they may have Hunter kind of included in the tight end game. So I'm just kind of trying to see how what effect will not kind of moving out the running backs, but what effect will Hunter have? Like, what room will he have effect on, the running back room or the tight end room? And that'll kind of of course we're going to see that in training camp, but that just kind of presents more questions. You know what I'm saying? Boss convinced me again. What did boss convince you of, Dope Meister? Catch me up, man. Oh, about bringing Zeke back? Because that's what you're talking about, Dope Meister. I wouldn't be mad at that now, because I was definitely one of the ones, like, I would say right after the season ended, I was definitely one of the ones who was like not even thinking about Zeke, because I just hey, shout out the landlord. He brought up a huge point. I think it was one show where him and Boss were doing a show, Boss Land. If y'all won't be watching that, hey, y'all need to get on that. But it was one episode where a landlord brought up a great point where he was saying that he figured the Cowboys would actually go after a power back. And, shout out to Michael Gelkin saying that they had a list of power backs. I'm sorry, not Michael Gelkin, Cal Yeomans, that they had a list of power backs they intended to go after, and they didn't pick one up. Well, of course, you got to think about bringing Zeke back if they didn't address the issue in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they drafted Deuce Vaughn, and he may make a difference, but, there's always question marks for the rookie. You can't deny that. I'm starting. I think I mentioned it on the show the other night, maybe the final word, where I said, I'm not on the Zeke train yet, but I'm definitely reserving my seat, though, Meister, because and I was even, I mentioned the Henny. I was watching the San Francisco game just to, kind of rewatch it a little bit, and see some of the drives a little bit, and even seeing Zeke again in the jersey, I'm like, man, it automatically just brings back that feeling like we really going into the season without Zeke. And I'm not saying we need Zeke, but at this point, us not addressing the power back issue, like we definitely had one of my main things we're gonna be looking at is Ronald Jones, definitely, because a lot of these running backs we have right now, taking out Deuce Vaughn a little bit, we've seen them before. Well, I've seen them before. I can only speak for myself. I've seen a little bit of what they can do. Rico, I was, always kind of huge fan of him, but I can see he's kind of, I never like to call players injury prone, but we've seen that he's missed time because of injury. So we're going to see if he's able to come back from that groin injury from last year. and see if he can, possibly take up maybe a running back 3 or 4 spot. We're gonna see what he'd be able to, what he's gonna be able to do in training camp. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on Ronald Jones. Just because number one, I'm not completely familiar with him. Now, what I've heard from other creators is that he hasn't had that many snaps, and I'm not gonna lie, that was definitely alarming to me. So I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on him in training camp and just seeing really what kind of back he is. Of course, going back and watching highlights, that's always the past. In my opinion, it's always the past. What I'm saying. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him in training camp and just seeing kind of the moves he makes. Kind of the cuts he makes, and just seeing what in reality he can actually offer this team. This Ed saying, Mickey, I truly believe Pollard is going to be looking like Zeke leadership in that room. And I agree. Even just listening to Pollard talk, like I think he, in my opinion, I think he kind of picked that up from Zeke. Not gonna lie, like how can you not? What I'm saying, like a shot at the boss Cowboy, kind of pointing out in that double interview. Just kind of how well they kind of feed off each other. That's another reason why I wouldn't be mad they were able to pick up Zeke. I know there isn't a lot of steam in the building, as we've heard from the final word interviews that about bringing Zeke back, but they just have so much of that chemistry already made, and it'll be one thing if we went on free agency and picked up another power back if they would be able to come available like Dalvin Cook or Kareem Hunt or somebody like that. But just picking up Zeke would just bring a whole nother factor. Yes, he's a free agent, quote unquote, but he already knows the playbook. He already has chemistry with the whole entire team, not just Pollard. What I'm saying? So he would just bring a whole nother element, and yeah, you would just have that, and I kind of my kind of thought track was like, would Zeke be willing to come back, with that thought track of being behind Pollard? What I'm saying? So, and yes, that interview was just and just like Dope Meister pointed out, Boss convinced me, looking at the interview again. I'm convinced that he would have no problem coming back and, in a secondary role, knowing what he can still offer the team, what I'm saying? And also another point I want to bring up to you guys, I was reading an article just the other day that, I'm sorry, what did it say? I believe the article was by Eric Patra on NFL.com, and not talking about Chiefs, but it was an article mentioning that Travis Kelce is actually being underpaid. Just a quick side note that he's actually being underpaid. But he also mentioned that he doesn't mind being underpaid because hey, he's winning. And that just, kind of made me think like, I'm not gonna lie, my first thought was Zeke, y'all. I like my first thought was Zeke, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Like, would he not mind coming back? And also, of course, it relates to what the Cowboys are willing to do, and salary cap, this, that, and the third, or roster spaces, things like, of course, that comes into play. But hey, you want a ring? You feel me? And that's why I feel like he can bring to this team. Like that's one of course, we still have to fix the O line, which is definitely one of my main concerns. But the running back being a question mark, it would be nothing to bring him back. You know what I'm saying? And of course, with what the running back market looks like right now, and even for Zeke's troubles, I guess, if Jerry, because we all know Zeke, has a place in Jerry's heart. You feel me? So, we still owe him what, $5-6 million? What would that be? We'll be at 20 million right now, and of course we have potential of getting more money. So, scrap that 1 million we paid Rojo. Excuse me, Ronald Jones. We're not giving me a nickname because season hasn't even started yet. But what I'm saying. So there's just so much so much you can play with right there. And Dope Meister, and that's really why I'm on the fence right now because like I wouldn't mind bringing Zeke back, but I very much want to see what the other guys offer on this team. I very much still want to see Dowdle. You know what I'm saying? Dowdle kind of reminds me of not semi, not in the way, of course, the different positions. I'm just saying as long as they've been on this team, they've been kind of stashed. Like I just believe that the Cowboys kind of believe in those two players just so much because why else would they still be here? You feel me? And Dowdle, in my opinion, is plays very well, but he just had so many injuries in the past. So we're gonna see how he's able to measure up to our new draft pick. You know what I'm saying? And Vaughn, and and also Davis from last year. Coming on and excuse me, well, Davis coming on, I believe, undrafted. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. I'm not sure about Davis, but yeah. So we're gonna see if they're able to keep up in competition. To see how these boys come out. We'll actually see what kind of backs that the Cowboys are actually looking for, or I guess I should say Mike McCarthy is looking for in their system. If as how it will be determined in these roster picks they make at the end of training camp, just what type of back they're interested in. Miss Etta says, yes, that's true. Zeke has only missed 2 games, I believe. I believe I think you're correct, Miss Etta. And that's the thing. I'm sure people know that, but maybe that's the thing people forget that Zeke has really hasn't missed that many games. He's really, gave us all for the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So and I wouldn't be that's what I said, maybe let him retire as a Cowboy. Why not? Like it's kind of out of respect. Hey, he gave us all, he gave us his all, like period. He gave us his time, he gave us his energy, his leadership. His when he was hurt, he still played the games. Granted, he admitted in what I believe was 2021 where he didn't want to get off the field because he didn't want to not be considered the lead back anymore. But when he finally, and it's not about accepting that role on the team, but it's all about mentality. When someone is able to accept that role, you got to respect that as well. So, Zeke has really gave us all for this organization. So, it wouldn't be wrong to bring him back. So I think D Cooks and Pollard are the same back. I think I don't know if I don't know if I would say they're the same back, but they actually are pretty similar because I have seen D Cooks make plenty of stretch plays where he may not seem efficient in the short yardage, but them plays where you see him make. I know last year the Vikings, there were plenty of plays where you see Dalvin Cook coming out of the backfield and just making those, 50, 60-yard plays, and those were definitely. I mean, even if you're just a casual fan, just watching the highlight reel, there were plenty of times where you're seeing Dalvin Cook, making huge plays, sometimes for touchdowns, sometimes for not. And we definitely see the same thing from Pollard. We definitely saw that in the Rams game. We saw that in the Washington game. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we saw it in the Washington game, but we definitely saw that a lot where Pollard was coming from the backfield. And yeah, but at the same time, that's why I'm wondering if we're actually going to be able to see that this year from Pollard because at the same time, Zeke, in my opinion, Zeke was able to kind of break down the defense, and because even as I mentioned in the Washington game, Pollard wasn't able to do maybe what we thought he was able to do. There were a lot of times where I noticed that maybe not even halfway through the game where Pollard's on the sideline, and I'm like, what's going on? But you see, once he gets on the field, it's like, wow, like Pollard, not that he's too small, but hey, Pollard's really not breaking through this line. And yet, granted, Washington has a great defense, you know what I'm saying? So, not, to decide what they do, but, Pollard just sometimes just wasn't getting it done. So, if this year comes up to where we don't have, and not to say we need a power back, but we don't have someone who's able to complement Pollard, can he be as effective? You know what I mean? So that's kind of one of the questions I have too, and not necessarily that it's questioning Pollard, but just that it's not necessarily the exact same situation because we don't have somebody that resembles Zeke. Just imagine if we can go get Barkley. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at Barkley, and Barkley is standing on all 10 toes when he says, "Y'all gonna pay me." And I wasn't surprised. I'm not saying, and Barkley had a great season last year. And yeah, granted, everyone, and even, every now and then I'll put that on him where he has an injury history. But, if you saw what he did last year after that, after that injury history, what I'm saying, he's definitely, definitely, especially in the games that we played him. Of course, he wasn't as effective because we were, our defense, of course, was able to step up. Of course, as we mentioned before in JC's show, D Law just being able to stop that run. But when he's able to make those plays, they definitely hurt us. In the long run. So I'm saying, so he's definitely still an effective back. So if we were somehow, I don't know if they would really be going after him, but if he's somehow able to, piss off the Giants, hey man, come on over. I wouldn't be mad. If I still believe he's definitely effective, as we saw just last year. Just a few months, just some few months ago. I agree with no one stacks up to Zeke at all, and that's not to speak bad on the backs that we do have. We're just gonna have to wait and see what they do have to offer. Now I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some more research on Hunter Lupke, but just to kind of touch on that detail just slightly a little bit. In that Clarence Hill interview, we did see with the final word panel that he did mention that the Cowboys did have some plans for Hunter Lupke, just to see what he's going to do. But as I mentioned earlier, we're going to see whether it's going to be on the tight end side or the running back side. Now, if it does, I'm just speaking hypothetically. If it does, kind of affect the running back side, like I said, I don't know much about him. I'm going to have to look him up. Do my own research before I, speak too much on him. But I did, see some highlights, and he's definitely speedy, but he does look to have more, in my opinion, a tight end build. But his speed can definitely be a factor in catching at the backfield. Oh my gosh! Like before now, I really had never, really seen his highlights. Like I said, I'm going to do some more research, but and even just watching a few highlights, I was like, okay, maybe that's why they're not so quick to jump on another running back, Zeke or anybody else right now, because they're also on the wait and see. They know they have training camp coming up. So we're gonna see what he can do too, because his quickness on the backfield, that may be something that we haven't seen in a while, coming from. He just may be another weapon that we have available. And so I'm just going to see, how he kind of fits into the roster. Excuse me, because in my opinion, I doubt that he gets cut. But of course, we're going to see. But we're going to see how he kind of fits. And like I said, we're going to see what kind of what the Cowboys are kind of looking for in the picks in the people that they picked up. Miss Eddie, you are not playing. You hear how we talking to the Giants right now? Look, I ain't coming nowhere near there until y'all ready to pay me. And honestly, I thought that they paid him, but I guess that he was just like Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard. He ended up getting tagged too, and I was like, oh wow. So, and I was kind of surprised that they decided to pay Daniel Jones before paying Barkley, because not saying Daniel Jones wasn't a factor. He definitely, I got to give it to him. He definitely stepped up his game, but it's like, don't you can't pretend that Barkley wasn't just as much of a factor. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if the Giants budge before training camp. Not that that isn't my business, but it becomes my business when he's talking to the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? But if he decides to come over, that's great. But I kind of doubt it. But I would love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at Barkley at all, but I'm sure he's asking for, a lot of money. I have to do some research on that too, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, I agree, Dope Meister. I want to see how they use them too, because I haven't, we saw with McGovern, not last year, but, a couple of years ago, how they kind of tried to use him at fullback a couple of times. And I liked it. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of got a little bit excited when I saw McGovern kind of come in the game, because, and he kind of, I don't, that's saying all rested on him, but play when he came in, plays kind of worked. You know what I'm saying? Like when he, Paulo was able to move behind him and break through the line and get past some of these defenders, some of these linebackers who's coming in for Pollard. And just 1 second, y'all. 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hey, you guys, sorry about that. Talking to my mom right quick. Appreciate y'all holding on. But yeah, when Paul was able to come into the game behind McGovern, like he was able to break past some of the defenders. So I want to see how they able to use a fullback too. Hopefully not just in that position. Oh, y'all, Jacobs, look, don't mind, sir. I was looking at Jacobs last preseason and I actually surprised when he was playing preseason last year because they had already projected him being the top paid running back. So I was like, why are you playing this man in preseason? But I wasn't mad. Everyone wants to get out there and understand everyone's itching to play. And of course, you want to see what you have. But man, in them first couple of drives, like, I was like, man, because even back then, there was like, whispers here and there of Jacobs, not staying, staying in Raider Nation or not being paid by the team, and they were willing to trade him. But we saw very quickly after the preseason games that they changed their tone very quickly about keeping Jacobs. And of course we saw that he was tagged. Now he hasn't made much noise, but we after Barkley said something, we see that he's kind of on this on the same train. So we're gonna see that come out to anything, but I wouldn't mind him at all. All right, y'all. My last topic for the night is gonna be on this defense right quick. Take a quick break. Again, make sure you guys share this right quick. Let everybody know I'm live. Get some more people to come in here. Just hope you guys enjoying. Hope you guys don't mind my nerves. Just trying to get used to the camera a little bit. Again, I appreciate y'all time. Thanks again for y'all being here. Oh, nothing happened, Miss Etta. We still here. We still chilling. We just finished talking about the running backs. We'll talk about the defense right quick. Just checking in with y'all, seeing how y'all doing. Miss Etta. Now, Diggs. Now, look. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I've been having mixed feelings about Diggs lately. Well, last year during the season. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of pointing him out for some of the missed tackles he was making. I'm not gonna lie. But you know, some people, as others mentioned, but we also barely heard his name last year. So we know that quarterbacks weren't targeting his side. What else does that say? You know what I'm saying? He's obviously shut down. You feel me? So paying him, I didn't know that he was up for payment this year, and I thought it was just Lamb and Parsons. But seeing that he's also up, I definitely think we should attack the situation now. But of course, better sooner than later. You're gonna see just how how we go into how the salary cap is affected once we finish our training camp. See if they make any other moves. Maybe in free agency. Not saying we need anyone. Now, I know we talked about Zeke earlier. We're just gonna see if they having to make any moves. But honestly, if they decide to put their money anywhere, I believe the money should go first towards, we should definitely secure Lamb, but they already talking about picking up this 5th-year option. So, he's already secure, but we're just going to see what they end up paying him. And of course, we recently heard that, his contract could be 25 to 30 million. So, I'm just going to see, I'll actually want to do some more research on that too, just to kind of compare, what the market is looking like right now, wide receivers. And of course we know he's top 10, really damn near top 5, what I'm saying, with his numbers. Just the fact that Lamb was able to put up his numbers without Dak for some of his years, some years for the majority without Dak, for him and missing 11 games in what 2020, and for him to still get over 1,000 yard for over 1,000 yard season says something about a receiver in itself. So I think he's definitely earned the contract. So, we're going to see what, obviously what the market is looking like. Before Terrence Steele, Miss Etta, ooh, that's now, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I would like to pay Steele just because he's such a staple in our offensive line. I think he makes just such a difference. When he got hurt last season, I was just so I just hated that it had to be number one in that Texas game. And then we had to play that game, and then how we had to come back and win that game. You know what I'm saying? Or, I don't know if we had to come back. It's not at top of the line right now, but the way we had to win that game in general. And then towards the end, for him to get hurt towards the end of the game, that just hurt even more. So we hate to see him hurt, but I kind of want to see him paid because he just makes such a big difference in our run game. So I would like to see him paid first, then Lamb. This is only my opinion, and then Lamb, and then honestly, I would like to see all 4 players paid. Of course, Parsons and Diggs. They're saying we may not be able to pay all 4, including Steele. The main talk has been about the main 3, but I'm hoping we keep Steele because he just seems to be a big staple. And they were just such a long time where we didn't believe in him. And the way he just kind of, came back and just kind of solidified his position, I really believe he should be the long-term right tackle. Yeah, I think his contract will be easier too because of the injury as well. We're gonna, and I think that maybe that's why they decide to put the tender on him as opposed to signing him right away. But I do still hope they decide to work out a deal with him. Yes, straight facts, Dope Meister. He was a straight diamond, and man, the way he came about. Because even watching some of the highlights, I forget the year right now, but I believe it was 2020, maybe 2021, perhaps. I can't remember the year where he just came out and he was just we didn't believe him we didn't believe in him at all, and we just had just major questions about whether this guy could even come in. You know what I'm saying? When I forget who got hurt at the time. We just It's just on mine right now, y'all. I'm sorry right now, but we just had so many questions about him, and just to see him make such a turnaround, and to be able to come in last year, the year before, and take up from when Tyron got hurt, and to just to be able to become one of the guys that we just don't have a question about anymore. And just a side note with Tyler Smith coming along, we just to be able to then we can have the possibility of having the right and the left side solidified. You know what I'm saying? But we also still have to wait and see how Terrence comes back from this injury. You know what I'm saying? And really that's really what I'm hoping that they, just depending on how Let's Go looks now. he could come out not being perfect, and I'm saying, and that's always a possibility, but we're gonna see how he comes out, and if he's not perfect, hopefully, I'm still hoping they don't rush him out. We definitely don't want to see a repeat of a Michael Gallup situation. So hopefully, he still is able to take all the time he can take and come back when he's fully ready to take up this team. And not saying I hope they hold him out to the bye week, but if he needs time, I definitely think that they should give it to him. Coach says a contract will be signed in training camp. Do you mean for Steele, or do you mean like in general, like in free agency? Let me know what you mean. All right, y'all. So last thing I want to touch on is this defense, right quick. Just my quick opinion. I was just taking a look back at this, the last couple of years, because we know this defense has put up historical numbers. You know what I'm saying? So of course in 2021, we know that they had a lot of takeaways. Of course, we know about Diggs interceptions, ended the year with 11. And what is it? Let me see. The team in general had 12 takeaways by week 5. Now, we we know that they put up historical numbers. They were, of course, compared to the Doomsday defense. We know that time at the time. That's always just a throwback that they have. And hopefully this year we'll be able to step up to that name. And hopefully be able to maybe be a rebirth of the Doomsday defense. In 2021, though, we also know that the Cowboys were big in penalties. So that kind of just, I wouldn't say, I hate to say a setback, but that was definitely one of the things that they had to work on going into the 2022 season. And I would say they improved on the numbers in general, but that I would say is definitely another thing that we have to look at as far as definitely on the offensive line, and just kind of clean up those, pre-snap motion penalties. Then in 2022, this, some of the main members of, returned on this defense. But in this past year, the defense was able to hold the ops to under 20 points through week 5. Of course, now we know Dak Prescott got hurt in week 1, so that was with Cooper Rush, for the most part. That defense knew they had to step up. Of course, the leading quarterback QB1 was out, and they knew they had to, make up for, what they thought lacked at QB2. So, they would let me see. Of course, week one was Tampa Bay. And I even saw, of course, looking back at that game, even in that loss we took, Tampa Bay only scored 19 points. So, we can still take that away from that week 1 game, that, the defense still stepped up and still held that team to under 20 points. So, and of course, we have week 2, the Bengals, they only scored 17. Giants week 3, 16. Washington 10. Rams 10. So you just, we had a chance to see our defense step up and just create those, those major plays, those sacks. Donald stepping up. Donald is just one of my favorite players. That he's just, in my opinion, just such an X factor where he could just create disruptance. Just when you're not even thinking about him. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm not gonna say he's like a forgotten player, but when you're not thinking about him, that's when he shows up, and that's what I love about Donald. Now, in my opinion, of course, we know Dak returned for that Lions game in, I believe, week 6. And in my opinion, what I think kind of not an overall factor, but what I think had a factor in the defense not being able to hold opponents under 20 points after that week when Dak returned is because some of the play calling by Kellen Moore. You know Kellen Moore kind of wanted to throw a little bit more when Dak returned. So, and I think that just resulted in more three and outs, and of course that just kind of wore more on our defense. Of course, when you're throwing the ball a little bit more, you kind of lose a little bit in the time of possession. So that means your defense is out on the field a little bit more, and of course they become a little bit more gassed, and of course we see that they're not able to hold off offense as much anymore. So of course teams are able to score a little bit more points, and of course we saw when Dak returned. Well, the week after we lost to the Eagles. Well, I'm sorry, excuse me, the week before we lost to the Eagles, and they scored 26. So we just hopefully this year with Mike McCarthy taking over play calling, we'll just see a little bit more smarter football and able to just kind of preserve our defense's energy, and hopefully keep them still in the game in the third and fourth quarter. So I bring up all this to say about the 20. I bring up all this to just kind of trying to figure out what we're going to see this year from our defense in 2023. What do you think? I want to hear from you guys just a little before we get out of here. What do you guys think of that this defense may specialize in the 2023? As we see, we had the takeaways a couple of years ago, just last year, be able to hold opponents to under 20 points. Do you think some of these things will show up again this year? Do you think they'll specialize in something different? Though Meister says sacks. I agree, fam. I agree. Yeah, I think with them picking up Mozzie in the first round just shows a lot of their commitment to the defense. And just a little side note, I kind of not that I think this will happen or anything like that, but it's just kind of funny that in the first round they pick someone on defense, to someone to saying supplement Quinn. And not that I think that he should be head coach, but do we think that this is the Cowboys kind of still questioning Mike McCarthy? Some people say that McCarthy got his pick in the second round with the tight end, but I don't know if I believe that. But so I'm still kind of on the are they still on the slide a little bit supporting Dan Quinn? I'm saying I'm just but I'm not mad at the pick at all. I think Mozzie will. If this defense wasn't solidified last year, with this pick and of course amongst our other picks, Overshown, picked in the fifth round. Please help me out, y'all. With him being picked up as well, I just think that they're showing so much commitment to just just solidifying this defense and just making sure that all bases are covered pretty much. You know what I'm saying? From the line to the linebackers backing them up. And you can't even get started on the DBs that we have. I believe it was Aisha who mentioned in the interview the other night, like we went from having no DBs to just having almost, our cup runneth over. You know what I'm saying? Like just, and it feels good, you know what I'm saying? Like not only to be able to pick up, Stephon Gilmore, you know what I'm saying? That alone in itself was a move in itself, but just seeing that the depth we have behind him, not only Diggs, of course, but we, just picking up Eric Scott, who they moved up for in the sixth round, you know what I'm saying? So just seeing the depth that we have and still the potential, of course, and Calvin Joseph. We saw him on the interview with landlord Henny, and you feel me, and West Coast Cowboy. You know what I'm saying? They're doing big things over there as well, and they're definitely some inspirations as well. Shout out to y'all, and I love tapping in with y'all, and just thank you for what y'all doing for the community. It's a huge thing. Miss Etta, I agree. I think they're gonna focus on stopping the run too. That's been just a huge detriment. We saw that last year, and we saw a little bit of a difference when Hankins came in, and Hankins is gonna be something I'm gonna look for again in training camp because excuse me, y'all. I think he's gonna bring just another element. You feel me? Like it's one thing that he came in last year, but he came in shortly before week 8, I believe, the trade deadline, and just wasn't able to get, as I say, the whole off season. Now he's able to, mesh with the team, mesh with the defense, but also the team, you know what I'm saying? And just coming in fresh. And, Hank was one of the interviews I've seen in OTAs, and he just seemed so excited to be on the team. Like, and that's everybody right now. I love seeing the interview because everyone just has this energy that I feel like hasn't been there before. I just feel like the energy is it's just a little bit different this year. It's a little bit different. DB and safety is stacked. Yes, sir. That is facts. That is facts on facts, man. And I'm just so happy, just to kind of stay on DBs a little bit. Like I got the list right here, like Gilmore, Diggs, Bland, Scott Jr. Like when we and now granted, of course, that was when Diggs and Gilmore weren't there during OTAs. They said that Scott was getting runs with the ones. You know what I'm saying? And of course, but for it to be him and not just some of the other guys we've had, you know, these last couple of years, right? Kelvin Joseph, you know what I'm saying? This is somebody, not knocking Izzy or nothing like that, but just, and it may not even be a knock on the other players. Maybe they could have just been seeing what potential he has because, he's there. They moved up for him. They could have just been seeing what potential he has and what he could do with the ones. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what's going to come with that, until we get to training camp. But just to see that he's getting runs with the ones and actually and getting good feedback. You feel me? Like it's and for one of our draft picks, it's and someone that they moved up for. Like this is giving me good feelings, you guys. I'm like I said, I'm still excited to see what he can offer. But if he's able to, and another thing I love actually is that he's able to learn from Gilmore, and now that they're actually going to be in camp coming up, he's going to be able to learn from Gilmore, Diggs, and you got Bland who came up last year. You know what I'm saying? So he can have, for him to have the potential to have the same kind of, maybe a surprise rookie year as Bland has, like, and just that the potential that everyone has, to be able to just be able to have a breakout year this year. We you can't be mad at this team right now. I had gave a prediction of 14-3 this year on our way to the Super Bowl. I like them as Etta. I'm thinking 14, 15 games as well. Like I was looking at the schedule, and yeah, there were some games that stood out that maybe, maybe like a sleeper or two here, or a sleeper or two, here or there. But I'm there's definitely some places where I'm finding it hard, not to brag on our team just too much, of course before training camp. But I'm finding it hard for us to lose some of these teams out here. Like if I let me bring up the just real quick, y'all. Just bear with me real quick. Get up our schedule right quick for 2023. I'm saying like some of these teams that we face, even within the first 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Cardinals. I'm gonna be real with y'all. The Jets, they're not. I'm about to see them first. Of course, Rogers went over there, but I'm gonna have to see them first because I'm gonna be real with y'all. The Jets not really scaring me right now. But I'm gonna have to see. I respect Rogers and who he is, and I respect the Jets. Them having a new coach come in, Robert Saleh coming in last year. I respect that. I respect the turnaround of a team. But like I said, I gotta see them first. But yeah, we do have the 49ers, week 5. Shout out to that game because I'm be heading over that way for that game. I can't wait to see. I'm kind of glad they have it early. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I wish they had us playing the Eagles early, just a little bit earlier. But hey, it is what it is. But even throughout the rest of the schedule, Panthers, of course, our division. Dak owns the division, as everyone already knows. I just the games that do stand out to me, just real quickly, of course, we have Bills, the Dolphins. I'm not gonna lie, Dolphins, and even that in that division, excuse me, the Dolphins kind of make me a little bit more nervous than the Jets right now. Just being real with y'all. So those, and then we have them late in the season too. So that kind of, I'm looking at those couple games and back to back as well. Of course, the Lions can always be a sleeper, but they're not scaring me right now. But 14-3 sounds, very good, Miss Etta. Joseph is odd man out, and I was rooting for him too. And I agree here, though, Maestro. I never really followed them close like that, but just seeing some of the plays he had stand out last season, on special teams. What I'm saying, I hate for someone to be just kind of labeled, or I won't say labeled, but limited. I would say the special teams, but some of the plays he made though made a difference. I hate I hate that when he had the penalties. But when he made those big plays, when he made those big tackles, what I'm saying? And you already know when he coming in nose down, head down, what I'm saying, nose down, what I'm saying? Like he's ready to be physical, excuse me, yo. He's ready to be physical, like, by any means, I'm saying at all costs. So, he's we already know he has that dog mentality, but I kind of wish I kind of wish he would develop just a little bit sooner. But he's definitely going to have it. Definitely going to have his work cut out for him this year because as we mentioned before, there's definitely a lot more depth this year. So we're going to see what he's able to do. And as well behind him, we have Izzy, we have Bell, and I'm being this is somebody that I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting about Jordan Lewis. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a crazy big fan of Jordan Lewis. I feel like not knocking him, but I feel like right like a little bit before his injury, excuse me, y'all. A little bit before his injury, that he wasn't. He showed flashes, the year before last. But I feel like this past year before he got injured, I feel like maybe he wasn't showing his full potential. So I kind of wanted to see more from him. And then when he got injured, that was definitely tough for him. So I didn't know. I thought that was going to be the end of Jordan Lewis. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that was his last year, but he has one more year. He gets another chance, which is great. That's not hurting us. That's not hurting him. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be able to see what he still has to offer. And I think he still has something to offer. Like when your depth chart goes that long, what I'm saying, you really can't lose with what you come out with at the end, what I'm saying? Double R was good, bro. You joined, bro. Hey, thank you for checking in, man. Appreciate you. What's up, man? How you doing? Just talk about this defense just a little bit. Talking about our DBs, how our cup runneth over. Me personally, I kind of want to see a little bit more of Bell. Me personally, I haven't seen a lot of Bell, but that's because I haven't been paying that much, and not in a bad way, but I haven't really been looking at him like that, and also because he hasn't, gotten that many snaps. Excuse me, y'all. So yeah, I kind of want to see what he has to offer too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were talking about, I think earlier in Henny's chat about the preseason games and whether starters should play and whether me personally, I would love to see starters, like play for a few series, but just with the depth that we have, I'm not mad at the depth playing, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to see what we have there, you know what I'm saying? That way we can, see what we're going into the season with, because, as is mentioned, countless times before, hey, the season is getting longer, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to need that depth in the long run, or, going down the long stretch of the season. So, I'm excited to see what in these preseason games, what we actually have. And even just as early as OTAs, hearing what we do have, I'm just, I'm getting a little bit more excited, So I want to see what they have in the preseason game. But also, I do still want to see some starters out there too. But just in a few series, and as Henny mentioned, earlier, just, it would be case by case, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have to be everybody. But yeah, I would, just to see if because they need the game experience too. Hey, every year is a different year. Hey, appreciate you, Double R. Thanks for stopping through, man. I really appreciate it. Thank all y'all for stopping through. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all like it. Make sure y'all share it. Everybody know I'm live. No, I'm just chilling right now. I ain't. Yeah, I'm off tomorrow. I ain't got nothing to do. Yes, I'm ready for that sneak peek double R. Like we ain't no such thing as an off season, but hey, that off season is still long. Like I can't wait for training camp. Like I'm so excited, and as I mentioned, like I finally get a chance to go out there this year. I can be able to, be able to see with my own eyes what my boys looking like. I'm excited to see what they had to offer this year. Like I said, like the injury, an injury, just a little bit different. Everyone just has that excitement. When you see when they do the interviews, like it's just almost like when people mention you have to go to work, like when you do what you love for a living, you don't work. These boys is looking like they not working, like they look like they're having fun. Every time you look up, there's another picture of Dak working out with his wide receivers, another picture of Brandon Cooks and Jalen Tolbert. You know what I'm saying? Just another picture of them boys having fun, pretty much, because they ain't working. They working, but these boys also having fun, and they also to see them have fun with their teammates. They at the same time they building that chemistry, and it's one thing to be able to play well together, but when you have that chemistry, that kind of that foundation to kind of stand on, it it can be different, y'all. It can be this the way I'm looking at how these boys are interacting kind of in the off season. I'm looking at it as their superpower. The way these boys is getting they chemistry together, and not just teammates, but that bond, that brotherhood, that everyone that plays football. Of course, I don't play, but everyone knows that bond is important. When you trust that man that you stand next to, that you playing next to, is different. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell that these boys just have a love for each other, a love for the game, and that they ready to play. Every time you see them, oh, I can't wait to get on that field. I can't wait to play. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Just like we can't wait, y'all. Like imagine how they feel. Like I think they're ready to get it. They ready to get it jumping just as much as we ready to see them get it jumping. Hey, dope monster, look, y'all might get another show another 5 minutes. I ain't How long y'all got? I ain't even ready to hop off. I ain't even finished with this defense just yet. What else y'all want to talk about? Oh, like a schedule? Right now I'm just kind of feeling out. This show right here really was just for me to get out like the nerves and stuff like that of being in front of the camera, honestly. So, I'm a little bit over that. So I'm gonna see about doing some shows, try to get on a regular schedule. For the most part, my afternoons are, when I really have like time to chill and I'm really just at home chilling. So probably I'm gonna try to find some afternoon time. 'Cause I try to respect other content creators' times because I love to tune in to their shows. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to get in, kind of get in what I'm feeling, and when I actually get like actual time now, I'm gonna let y'all know. But yeah, I'm gonna find some time tomorrow to get y'all a show, and if not a live, then definitely some kind of video. You know what I'm saying? Hey, hey, double R. Look, man, I had to start sometime. Look, like I'm gonna be real with y'all. I've been trying to start all week, but I'm the shyest person I know, y'all. So for me to be able, this is a complete 180 for me. So I'm trying to push myself to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Something that I love doing, and hopefully I get to that point where where I love what I'm doing, so I ain't gotta work. Y'all feel me? Hey, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all being here, man. Y'all everything to me right now, man. This is something I hope I'll be able to get them off the ground, man, because I'm loving it so far. Now I'm kind of getting these nerves out a little bit. Like, and once I get these nerves out, like I love talk. I can talk. I can talk about my boys all day. I'm ready, y'all. So just a quick question before before we get out of here. We about an hour 20. It don't even feel that long, y'all, for real. So I'm like, I could talk to y'all like forever. Yeah, that's the plan now, Double R. That's my plan now. Once I start, I ain't trying to stop. But I want to ask y'all one last thing before we head out of here. I want to know who's y'all not this season, but in training camp. Who was that the one player you looking for? Just the one, just in general. It don't matter the position, offense, defense, special team. None of that matters. What's the one player you looking at? I want to see some answers. If y'all got some answers, but I'm gonna let y'all know mine, of course. Actually, before y'all get your answers in, I want to say, initially my first answer was Cooks because it's just been so long. Like I hate for it to be, the usual stuff, but it's just been so long. I feel like, of course, since Coop, and that just feels like so long ago. But I feel like we did him wrong. But that's a whole nother story, of course. But initially Cooks was always my first answer because it's just been so long since we have someone who's just been so explosive on the offense. And but also, actually, I might be sticking with Cooks, but I might talk myself into it a little bit. But it's just his effect on his team so far. Like we didn't even got the training camp yet, y'all, and it just seems like he's just making the impact he has on this team is just already so evident. Like when you see a change that is so tangible, like that has to mean something. You know what I'm saying? Like as Meister mentioned, Tolbert, like the effect he had on that wide receiver room, Gallup, what I'm saying? Someone who already has, years in it, anybody can have an effect on anybody, whether you're a veteran, a rookie, or anything like that. And for these boys to be, you know, taking in what he's saying, not only about the game, but also off, dealing with the field, also off the field, how you take care of your body, just mentality in general. Like some of these young boys out here, you can't tell them nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so for them to be open to that, what I'm saying, and it's no pressure that they don't have to listen to him, but everyone, of course, CD, what I'm saying, like he just had, just past couple of years alone, like I just love that they would have had able to have that effect from Ty, of course, from late last year. I wish we used him so much more. I'm still mad about that, y'all, but he's had that effect. Like you saw the joy in his face from that picture where you saw CD and Ty kind of hugged up like boys. Like man, like if we just if we could just get this man some help, and of course that's what we did this year. So what I'm saying, just be able to just see that camaraderie already early before training camp even hit. What I'm saying, like I just love that these boys just gravitated toward him just so quick. What I mean, I mean, just my opinion. Like I kind of saw some interviews last year where even with the OBJ nonsense that was going on, CD was like, "Oh well, what we have here is good. We don't really need him." But you don't see that. I mean, I haven't seen it so far with Cooks. So like, just his whole effect on on the wide receivers, so far, and you saw Dak's excitement. Like they ain't no turning that down. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all, but I didn't recognize. I didn't acknowledge you earlier, Michael Lockhart. Thanks for tapping in, man. I see you. Thank you. The Lockhart's y'all true fan right now. Thank you for your time. Let me look at some of y'all answers. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me see. So Mike, she said Tolbert, Michael Lockhart goes with Mozzie, and I'm looking at him too. I really want to see like how much of a difference that he makes on defense. Like I'm really ready to see just how much that how much that line is going to level up with just his presence alone. Oh, you ain't never late, fam. Double R, you ain't never late. Yes, Doughmeister Cooks is Super Bowl caliber. Yes, I agree, and I love that he has the experience as well to be able to talk to these receivers and let them know. Of course, nothing is like game experience. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to talk to these boys and hey, like when you get in this position, or even to have Gilmore on the other side, like you have these two greats on either on both sides that these wide receivers can learn from because they can learn from Cooks on how to do the wide receiver things, and then you also get the chance to learn from Gilmore on how to counteract how to how you say how to counteract the things that a DB that you may go up against, especially CD. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to be going against Gilmore's caliber of what he may have been before, but or maybe even now. We have to see, but he's going to be going up against that caliber. If you can learn some things now, there's nothing better than that. To get that experience. Like I just believe the way this team is put together, like it's just something special, something very tangible is there. Hey, me too, Dope Meister, and that's another factor that it's kind of inspired me to start this channel. Is just that I think we really gonna be on fire this year, and I'm so ready to witness it. Like, and I'm ready to, one thing I'm ready for is just ready for all these. And I hate using the word haters, but like just all these people who just been doubting us and doubting Dak just for so long. Like he's really about to make them eat their words. Like I really believe that. Like I really believe that. Like this year is going to be different. It's going to be different to wear a Cowboys jersey now. It's I just believe it's going to be different. And you know, between me and y'all, be wearing the hell out of a Cowboys jersey. I'll tell y'all that right now. Like this season got me hyped right now. But of course, we got to see what we got in training camp. But like I really believe that this year is going to be some kind of different. A double R. Now I'm gonna be real with you. Like I don't I don't follow a lot of college like that. To be honest with you, I'm gonna try to start getting into it more. Because I know that's a part of learning the game, and that's really what my channel is about. Is about me kind of learning, kind of expanding my knowledge a little bit of the game. So I kind of want to learn along the way. And but just in general, I definitely agree with that point. I've never been a huge fan of rookies starting. To be honest with you, because we all know that the college is nothing the same is nowhere near the same as NFL speed. You know what I'm saying? And even I mean, and for me, it's not about the game, but for me, it's more about the pressure. Like I never want a rookie to come out and think that they have to maybe to think they have to prove something, or maybe that they have to carry something, or think they have to think they have to. I don't want to say attribute, but of course, when you're out there, you want to feel like you want to provide something, to your teammates. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, there's a whole thing of, oh, they may have that on their shoulders and they feel like they don't. But, but if they had that potential, we saw Parsons come out and ball out, but, he's just one of those special players. So hopefully they don't put that pressure on Mozzie's shoulders, but we're going to see what he can bring to the table, and he may just have that. He may just be kind of some kind of special in his own way that he can bring something. May like as we've seen other creators point out, like it may not be about numbers with him this year. It may be more about how he elevates others around it. That's what I think his presence will bring. I think it is more for me this year. It's more about Mozzie's presence, versus what he's going to do, and he may be able to produce because of what everyone else is able to do. But I think it's going to be more about his presence this year. That's going to able to elevate everyone else's game. Yeah, I think we'll be contenders as well. I really think everyone spoke about the NFC being open last year, Now this year, of course, we've seen moves being made, but I still believe the NFC is still just as wide open. Now, of course, we face some of these teams down the stretch. We see who kind of want to come up the lines a little bit. Now, mind you, y'all, like I don't, I'm being real with y'all. I don't know, what these other teams moves that they made in the draft. So I'm just speaking off what I saw last year, in my opinion only. But we do have the Lions coming up. As far as NFC, we have the Lions coming up. We do play the Seahawks coming down the stretch, and I ain't gonna lie, Gino had himself a year last year. No, what I'm saying, we can't lie about that. So, but we have to see, how they come out. Cause what I do like is we kind of we played in preseason. Of course, it's not gonna be the same team, but they're definitely one of them teams that can be on the come up. Of course, we have 49ers, but and that's kind of like a pattern I see. Like I see a lot of, us, Eagles, 49ers being mentioned like a lot. And these other teams, I don't really, So I just think that it's kind of obvious that, we're kind of like in the top tier of the NFC team of NFC teams, going into this year. So I truly believe that you know, I believe we on our way, and not even and for me, it's not just about this year. It's about years to come. And I'm definitely happy to see how they are kind of putting this team together, and it's kind of just you're just kind of like seeing how you kind of like witness like the budding of a potential team that could have a lasting impact for years, not just we may not just be looking at this year. We may be looking at maybe 2-3 years down the line. I know we have some bets on some short contracts, but these next few years could be interesting if if of course if we play our cards right. When we win the chip, I want to hear complete silence from all the haters and naysayers. Yes, facts. Me too, though, Mike. So now, and actually, I don't even want to hear complete silence. I want to hear them. I want to hear them say all that stuff they was talking before. Honestly, that's what I want. Or if you ain't gonna be talking, if you ain't gonna be, I want them to keep that same energy. And if you ain't, well, then I want to hear them say that we the champion. That's what I want to hear. With the players, with the players the Cowboys have right now, what do you see their record being this season? I'm gonna be real with you. I haven't gone through. Well, I've looked at the schedule multiple times, but as far as win loss, haven't done a complete um record prediction. But as I mentioned earlier, Miss Etta, I could see a 14. Let me see real quick. I still have the schedule up right quick for y'all. Right quick for we got it. Yeah, because as I mentioned before, you guys, like really the only team I see us having problems with, like I said, would be as I mentioned before, late in the season against the Bills, the Dolphins. Now we do play Seattle week 13, but I'm I'm not, like as I said, they're a coming team, and by that far in the season, they may be coming along. We're going to see how they do in their division, because honestly, their division isn't much to be really talked about. Really, I mean, they're in there with 49ers, but what I'm saying, the Cardinals and the Rams, I don't know if I really see them doing much this year, but so they could, by week 13, they could, very well be, of course, in playoff talks, that late in the season, but we're gonna be seeing how they're doing. So, like I said, like I mentioned before, like I really only, you know, the lines may give us trouble that late, just depending on what it's looking like. But I really only see us, I don't even want to say, I'm messing with y'all, but I don't even want to say losing, but like I said, week 15, 16, is because we always have that stretch, of those games, those back-to-back games. So, and but with us having, with us having depth, I have a little bit of better, little bit of a better feeling But if we're able to, if our depth is able to step up, then we would. That's really what has me confident. Is just our depth, and it's getting to the point where it's on both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like the wide receiver room has is almost that. Our cup runneth over because we're still, like I said, like I mentioned earlier with Simi, we're still seeing what he may be able to contribute. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Houston, still kind of low on the radar a little bit, and of course we have the undrafted that came in like our draft picks, Jalen Brooks, late. So, we just, the depth that we have, like, of course it's never, so I'm not gonna say I'm not worried, but just, we could, I don't know, I forget what I heard today, but we really are a very well put together team this year, I feel like. And if we handle this the right way, we could last this, 17, well, not even 17, 20, 20 game stretch. And, we might be able to maybe I'll do something this year. But but let me see. But as far as a record, very early record prediction, I go on the safe side and say 14-3. And honestly, if we let me look back at the schedule right quick. If maybe our division gets us one time, and I only see that. And I'm gonna be real with you. Out of a whole season, I maybe see our division maybe having us slip up one time. You know what I'm saying? So if we happen to slip up in the division somewhere, what I'm saying, I could see that maybe potentially being 13-4. Maybe that could be, the just, the turn, with the tide turning or something like that. But, I believe we can handle the division. You know what I'm saying? Only way I can see is if, 14-3, I'll say for right now, very early, and possibly 13-4 if our division catches us slipping. Like I mean, we saw the Washington game late last year. I mean, we can't say it's not possible. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's a very early prediction, but I can see that. I always hope for that first round bye, but and that would be well for us. I know late in the season, like I said, we had them back-to-back games. Triple R, hey, it was good. The son of Double R. Hey, I'm so glad you checked in, man. Thanks for so much for checking in, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for your time. And I saw you guys looking for Swain. I saw Swain early on Henny's chat, but it wasn't for long though. Like he was on there like when Henny first got on, but even when I got on a little bit later, he wasn't there. So excuse me, I'm sorry. Triple R said he'd be on Mars from what I heard. That's the last thing I heard from Double R. We had to go on our mission to rescue him, right? If he is up there, I'm sure he's gonna be up there for a while. Well, y'all, it's about to be hour 40. I don't know if y'all want me to keep going or if y'all got any questions. You know, just let me know. Let me know how y'all feeling. Hey, what's up? Good to see you, Triple R. Again, thanks for hopping in. Appreciate you. It's my first live I'm doing, so I'm just really just getting out my nerves a little bit. So we just kind of freestyling tonight. Hey, we sure be lit when Swain came through. Man, what landlord say, Mr. Bad Influence? We gotta have him around. especially on the late night. Y'all already know that. Hey, appreciate you, Triple R. Hey, I said it earlier. I'm the shyest person I know, so I had to just go ahead, hop on and get it over with. All right, Dope Meister, I hear you. All right, what you want to talk about, fam? Let's get into it. Actually, let me see if I have, because I might have some notes that I took. Nah. Hey, like I told Double R, hey, you ain't never late, Triple R. Never late. You always on time. Actually, no, we haven't talked about Deuce. Actually, well, we talked about actually earlier I talked about the running backs in general. I didn't specifically touch on Deuce, but now I'm hoping he does bring something to the team this year. Let me see. Bring up some info on him, Michael. Now I will let y'all know that I personally liked of when they first drafted him, how his dad got to make the call to him. I thought that was really nice. But I mean, real with y'all, at that point, I wasn't really familiar with him. So let me see. Bring up some highlights. I won't be able to share the screen with y'all. Like I said, I'm still kind of starting out a little bit, but I'm gonna try my best. Now, when the Cowboys entered the draft, I honestly thought, like Hal Yeomans mentioned earlier, I honestly thought they were going after a power back. I mean, being that we got rid of Zeke, but now I wasn't mad when they picked up Deuce. You know what I'm saying? Like he has that speed, but we all have those questions of whether the size can hold up. Now, I'm not saying I'm comparing him to Lukey, but just actually, you know what, guys? Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, you guys. Sorry about that. Had to grab my charger. Double R said that boy was late being born. Stop it. Hey, y'all too much. Oh man. What are your thoughts on Ferguson? Though my said I went back and watched his tape on draft night. Look, I need to go back. Actually, I was gonna do that now, but I'll do that off camera. That way I'm not, using all time. But I need to go back and watch some more tape on Deuce because, just from the few I've seen, like I love his speed, but I just need to, I need to see what maybe I just need to see what he can do against maybe a heavy line. Like I said, I'm not familiar with too much college ball and be real with y'all, but I really need to see what his. I mean, not that everything has to do with his size, y'all, but I mean, let's be real. Like the dudes we're gonna be facing, like, are not playing around. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to know if he can go up against the line. And we saw in some instances last year where Pollard. I mean, Pollard almost couldn't. Pretty much couldn't get it done against Washington. You know what I'm saying? If Pollard not getting through, what's Vaughn gonna do? You know what I'm saying? We have to be real about these things. You feel what I'm saying? So and that's kind of why my one of my first things is the line, because I want to see how the line can stack up. But it's also like what is Vaughn really going to be able to do? You know what I'm saying? Maybe Hunter can get out there a little bit like how Connor McGovern did a little bit. Kind of line up, and maybe Deuce can use him as kind of just a little bit of leverage. Break past lines like just like that. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be able to see what Deuce can do. Yeah, I'm gonna look at some more film. Look at some more film offline. Come back with some thoughts and see about to see how Deuce maybe able to stack up against these lines coming out here, especially with some of these teams gonna be facing. What y'all talking about? But yeah, just to touch on Ferguson a little bit, like, I'm kind of liking, I like, is it Ferguson? Yeah, I'm liking Ferguson. I like that he's actually, taking the role of tight end one and kind of running with it. Like he wants to accept the role. He wants, we're seeing that he's, trying to step up and, just in OTAs, and you're going to see how he does in camp. But he wants to take on that role and be a leader. You know what I'm saying? That's always sometimes what these rooms need is a leader. You know what I'm saying? We see Dalton Schultz leave, of course, and some people want him to stay, some people want him to go. There was kind of like we saw that there were kind of like mixed feelings, and honestly, there were mixed feelings about Dalton when he was here. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we can see if Ferguson can kind of take that step up and become tight end one. And, can he make us forget Dalton? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of my question. Like, are we going to be missing Dalton, like, when the season starts? You know what I'm saying? Like, because, Dalton was kind of nicked up here and there last season. And as much as I hate to kind of admit it, like, I believe it was the first Giants game, y'all? Help me out. Where Dalton didn't play, or he missed a couple, maybe 1 to 2 games last year. And as much as I hate to admit it, there were kind of times where I missed him a little bit, because yeah, granted that was what we had at the time, but I just kind of want to see what Ferguson does, and if he's willing to step up and take that role serious, and whether he's going to make me forget whether or not that we let Schultz go to the Texans. You feel me? So, like, I'm not saying that I wish we would have kept Dalton, but I just want kind of want to see what he does now with Schoonmaker coming in. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be tight end one, but definitely going to see. I was definitely happy to see him outside that walking boot. I'm gonna be real with you. I was one of the ones making a big, make a big thing about him being in that walking boot. But when I saw him come out of it, in OTAs, I was like, okay, maybe it may not be as bad as as I thought. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see what he does, in training camp, and see if he can contribute. And I gotta look at some tape of him too. I hate that he is already kind of dealing with being nicked up before even kind of the season starting. I was kind of hate to see that with the player, but they did say that he had problems with injuries, and that he was kind of older coming in as a rookie, quote unquote. So we're gonna see what happens with him as well. Double R said, "Now you're gonna need snipers in here." Hey, that's why y'all here, right? Hey, look, everybody here right now is a sniper. You ask me. I agree, though, Meister. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I'll go yet to say that we dropped the ball, but I just it's just so much context, like for me from last year, like how we utilized them. I wish we hadn't. put him so much in the forefront. And I know it had a lot to do with the play calling with Kellen Moore, but I just kind of wish we hadn't put him so much in the forefront to where, and I feel like that's why we kind of missing him now because they emphasize Dalton so heavy. Like, not saying, and I don't think they should have at the time, but outside CD, we didn't have many options to go to. So of course, we kind of had to at the time, but it makes him seem so necessary, and he may not be. It may turn out to see this year that we don't need him. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we may be stacked. We may have enough. What we have enough weapons that we're gonna forget about Dalton. You know what I'm saying? So, that's that remains. That remains to be seen. We're gonna see how he does for Houston. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, and Noah's down there with them too. So we're gonna see how they do. Miss Anna, don't tell me your husband is worried about the dogs. Shoot, you better tell them dogs to get on their bed. That's how they keep warm, ain't it? That's how my dogs do. But tell them to turn that heat up. Well, actually, shoot, you might be able to step outside as high as it's been lately. I'm gonna be real with y'all. This, I'm out in VA. I don't know if y'all know, but this heat, I'm only in Virginia, and this heat ain't playing. So I don't know, if anybody, down south or in Texas or even on the West Coast. My brother out in California, and he said it's nice right now, but I know they be dealing with that heat wave every now and then. So hopefully whoever dealing with that crazy heat is getting through it, because it's 90s here in VA, and that's definitely nothing to play with. And Double R, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody that's here right now. I'm just trying to be like the others for real. Like I said, there's been just to touch on a few people who just inspire. Like I mentioned earlier, like Boss has just been just a real big inspiration. Henny for real, like you know some people will just put you in awe of what they know, and like I always thought, I'm not saying, Henny is just, when you see just a numbers guy, like, and not just saying he's just a numbers guy, but the way he just gives you the information, what I'm saying? It makes me want to learn. That's really, like I say, he's been another inspiration to me because he makes me want to learn more, what I'm saying? And the way he breaks stuff down, what I'm saying? It just, like I never knew that Cowboys content could just be this enjoyable. I always love talking about them, but to see brothers out here just making it, not just entertaining but also educational, and just really just taking to another level. Like I never thought I'd see, not just about Cowboys, but just sports content be taken to this kind of level, and I really love it, and it's really inspirational. And I'm saying, like I said, to see what they're doing in the community, and they're just to be real about it, like they're really a real motivation to someone like me who was just always kind of want to do this. When I was, like I said, kind of mentioned earlier in the stream, when I was in college, I wanted to be a broadcaster, but I just never got a chance to finish out the classes. So to see that I could possibly start on my own is just to see if I could do it. Just something to kind of push me, out of my comfort zone a little bit. So, like I said, not to drag it out, but thank y'all for being here, and I appreciate y'all time, man. Y'all some real ones right now, for real. Yeah, and I ain't never been down there yet. I want to visit Texas one day, but I know that the Heat don't play down there. I know that's one place the Heat don't play. Dope Michael say you definitely up next. Mainstream Mickey. I like that. I thought about using mainstream too, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm still, right now the Craving Cowboys content is a little bit pending. I'm still kind of thinking of ideas, but I like that, y'all. But I also thought of some other things too, like mixed media room. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of just thinking of things. Right now I'm just freestyling. I'm just enjoying the time right now, honestly. Oh my gosh, Miss Etta, you have a Siberian Husky? Oh, I know they mad at you. Oh, that hair they got? Mm, mm, mm. Ooh, I know they uncomfortable. For me, I got like a lab mixed with a pit and then two smaller dogs. Shoot, that short hair. Look, they happy to get a haircut. Shoot, I don't know how that Siberian dealing, especially in these summer months. And look, it's just starting to be July, y'all. Like, look, I'm gonna have to find a tree out there or something, or bring an umbrella to camp. Cause look, y'all, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Yeah, I appreciate you, Double R. Thank you, man. It really means a lot, y'all being here for real. There's anything else I want to talk about before we get out of here? Let me know. Like I said, I'm chilling. I ain't got nothing to do. That's that Ciroc passion fruit I had from earlier, from JC stream for real. All right, y'all. We're gonna do a couple more minutes just to hit that 2 hour mark, and we're gonna get out of here. Anybody have any more questions? Like I said, I ain't even got the words for real for y'all. Like I'm gonna be thinking about y'all because y'all real for being here, and I love y'all being here. Supporting me right now, and it's everything to me. This ever, yes, I am going to training camp. Now I'm only gonna be going. I'm gonna be going out there on the 30th, I believe. I decided to go out there on the second week when they actually gonna be wearing pads, and I'm gonna be out there for that 1 week from the 30th up to the third. When they had that third practice, I'm just gonna you'll be there for 3 practices and then be out. Just to get a glimpse. You know what I'm saying? Bring y'all a little something. That's really why. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to be able to see with my own eyes, but also be able to you know why not? I mean, nothing better than I want to be able to share my thoughts with what I see out there and be able to show y'all what I see. So I think it's gonna be really exciting this year. All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. Like I said, thank y'all for checking in with me. It says everything to me right now, and y'all just got me motivated to do more shows. Um, I'm tapping here tomorrow. I don't know what time just yet, but if not in the morning time, then definitely sometime in the afternoon. Might drop a video or something. Just my thoughts. Um, Again, man, thank y'all for coming through, Dope Meister. Hey, man, you showing love, man. Everything. It's Etta. Mr. Michael, Triple R, Double R. I just feel like the family in the building tonight. I feel like that's the theme, like family in the building tonight, y'all, and y'all making me feel love right now. Hope I ain't forget nobody. Anybody that came through, like thank you for your time. It's for me. It's been a great show, and hope y'all check in next time. Appreciate y'all. Have a great night.